I'm Kevin Plunkett. I graduated from Duke in 1995, and my current job is I'm the Senior Vice President of Scripted Programming for E! Right after school, I got hooked up with a group of people that were launching FX. FX at the time was more of an HGTV network. It wasn't cool, kind of quasi HBO at all. We did 7 hours of live TV a day, and I was an assistant to the VP of Talent, Promotion, On-Air Promotions, and Production. So I kind of did a little bit of everything. It was an amazing startup experience that I didn't realize no one else would get because it's TV. You don't get a lot of startup experiences. Went from there to Disney Channel, and that brought me out to Los Angeles. Disney Channel to ABC Family, now Freeform. ABC Family to Paramount, Paramount to ABC, ABC to E! I've always been much more partial to TV. It's kind of the guidance counselor philosophy of life. If you pick something you like to do, you can make a career out of it, and I loved watching TV. I was never a big film buff. I think in any of these jobs, there are so many people that want them, and they're so coveted, that if you aren't in a space that you feel particularly passionate about, that I think it diminishes your chances for success. I oversee the strategy, development, and production of all scripted programs for E! It was a job that I was hired to do about 4 years ago. The idea was to supplement what was currently on the network with scripted. There hadn't been an effort to be in scripted programming before, and I got the opportunity to lead that for them. The process between comedy development and drama development is largely the same. You're still looking to find writers and producers and directors who have a vision for an idea and can tell a great story. You're hoping that one of those stories is funny and the other one is dramatic. We've all worked on stuff that was the opposite. So that isn't really, the process is actually very similar. What's different is the people behind them. A lot of people can only do one or the other, right? So that if you are an inherently funny person, you're going to tell a story that is full of jokes and hopefully make people laugh. And if you, let's say, are a writer who loves to or come up on Dick Wolf shows and you love the procedural element of stories, you're probably not the best person to write a sitcom. So that's the biggest part of the process, is the people behind each of those shows. But the process of finding an idea, working the idea, developing the idea, shooting either a pilot or a series, that's all largely the same. It's more about the voice of the person behind the camera. LA is the entertainment capital, right? So that in the same way that if you wanted to be a banker, you could be a really successful banker in Wichita. But New York is kind of where banking happens. So you need to kind of be, if you want to play, if you want to be ultimately as successful as you want to be or kind of chase success, you kind of need to be where the industry is or where the center of the industry is. And for entertainment, that is Los Angeles. So I knew that as I started to get into TV, I really enjoyed it. I always knew that there was going to be a move to Los Angeles, and had the opportunity when a group of people left FX and moved over to Disney Channel, and I got the opportunity to come with. So it was a unique experience or unique opportunity because you often don't move to Los Angeles with a job, right? I think a lot of people who are thinking about moving into entertainment and moving to Los Angeles, you kind of have to make a leap of faith. You move out, you do your networking before you get here, you kind of lay as much groundwork as you possibly can, but very few people will move you to Los Angeles to do an entry-level job because there are so many people here willing to do it. And I was kind of fortunate in the way that it got me to Los Angeles. So the creative center of the industry is out here. I think the challenge for any exhibitor of content, broadcast, cable, digital, is getting any piece of content to break through. The environment is so incredibly challenging that it's so hard to get any eyeballs on anything. The example I use is I have a 10-year-old daughter, and her favorite show is I Love Lucy. So it's a not so subtle reminder when I come home that you're not fighting with other things that are on the air or being distributed right now. It's anything that's ever been made ever in the history of TV or movies. And she is completely platform agnostic, as so many young people are. So you have to tell a great story, and you have to have a terrific marketing team behind you to push that content out and tell people that it's on. That's always a challenge, that kind of work-life balance. Fortunately, I've worked for some really great people. I think in a lot of these jobs, in all of these jobs, you don't work for a company. You do work for a company, but you work for a boss, and there is someone who is in charge of your division, your department, your life. If you pick the right people to work for and you do a good job, and then you have the opportunity to make some decisions about who you work for in the future, I think that work-life balance becomes easier because you have people who understand what is important to you, and this job is really important as our job, as are most jobs, but it's not the only thing in anyone's life. What's cool about entertainment, and whether that's TV, movie, digital, whatever, is what draws people out here. It's why you're here, sitting in my office doing this interview, right? It has all of the stress and anxiety of any job, whether you are a banker or a consultant, whether you're a lawyer or doctor. We just get to have more fun, right? We get to go make things, and you get to go work with enormously talented people. You get to sit down with the funniest people in the world, or the terrific storytellers, or terrific directors, and then you are in London shooting a new show, or you are at a premiere in New York, and the upside and the element of experience that you get to have in the entertainment industry is pretty spectacular. So it makes all of the stress and work and the hard work really worthwhile. Right now, I think it's awesome to be a Duke alum and trying to get into Hollywood. I think that the emergence of DEMAN over the last couple of years, I think that both here in town and the DEMAN weekends back on campus, I think is so cool. It didn't exist when I was in school, and I wish it did, because I think it would have helped me just be smarter about what I was doing, because so much of this industry is bootstraps. You kind of have to be in a job and you have to figure it out as you go. But to have someone or a network to go to and say, okay, I don't understand this, or what does this person do? Man, that would have been a fantastic resource. So I think that the Duke experience, especially if you're looking to make a move to Hollywood, there's no guarantee for success, but at least that there's a support network somewhat in place for you to use, and so I think it's only getting better. First piece of advice would be to do your homework. Everyone will do an informational interview, whether it's on the phone, whether you're in town and you're able to get some face-to-face time. I can't tell you how many times I've done those meetings and the first question I get is, so tell me about yourself. That's a bullshit question. My bio is in 100 places online. There's, as are most people. If you've been in this town for any length of time, you've been in a press release, your PR, your bio has been put on some corporate website or been referenced in some panel that you've done. Do your homework and ask better questions, because it's going to reflect better on you as you figure out what you want to do. So do your homework. 2, build your own network. It's great that this DEMAN network exists or is starting to exist, but we don't know you. So that 20 minutes that we're going to spend with you on the phone, or the half hour in person, that's not enough. You need to have people who know who you are as a person. And there are so many times people have said to me when we do these interviews, I just don't know anybody in town. I think it's a cop-out, right? If you think about everybody you grew up with, everyone you went to high school, everyone they went to college with, you should be able to put a network together that at least is one step removed, right? So when someone needs to hire someone, they want, 1, the person that they feel like is qualified for the job, but 2, they want some validation that this person is a good person. Like, he's not a psychopath, or she's not completely skittish, or she's going to bail and leave town in 3 weeks. And that comes from that personal connection. So for instance, if I needed to hire a new assistant right now and Carter told me, oh, you should go meet this person, that validation, that personal validation, goes so much further, for me anyway, when I'm looking to hire someone, than what you may or may not have done as an internship. So build that network of people who know you and know what you want to do. And that kind of brings me to my third one, which is have a sense of what you want to do, but don't let that inhibit what you do as a job. If you want to work in entertainment in some form, get a job, anywhere that is, right? Don't try to don't try to land your perfect job from Durham. That's really hard to do. So because what you're going to be doing is going after the most visible, most coveted jobs. Everybody wants to work in programming or development and TV. Everybody wants to work as a creative exec in features. That's fantastic. But if you can get a job in digital or marketing or sales or research at one of these big entertainment companies, take it, right? You'll learn more in 6 months and you'll have a better sense. Okay, great. Maybe you love research. Maybe you're a savant at research and you didn't even know that you were a savant at research because that you've never been exposed to it before. Or conversely, maybe you hate research and you can't stand it because it reminds you of math class, which it does. So that at least gives you the ability to say, okay, great, I know I don't want to do that, but if you've done a nice job, it's so much easier to move within these big companies than to sit outside and kind of land in your perfect job. That's if you want it to be on the executive side. If you want to write or produce or direct, then you shouldn't be working at these big companies. You should go get a job in production and work your way up through that side, because you're getting further and further away from what you ultimately want to do, and you're not finding those people that will be your peer group as you kind of move forward. Do your homework, build your network, and don't let your perfect job inhibit you from taking any job.